Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi Syrah Sadri wa Sirli Amri wa Datan min Lisani Qawli. Welcome to the 10th IBFIM webinar series. Thank you very much to all the guests that actually have taken time off to be with us today. There are about 700 of us that registered for this session. CEO of 3 public listed companies in 3 different industries. A minister, a chairman of a national fund management agency, a chairperson of a public university, and a chairman of stock exchange, as well as a e-hailing driver. We're not talking about 8 different people, we're talking about one person. And indeed, today we are fortunate to have that person joining us for our webinar this morning. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to welcome YBhg Tan Sri Abdul Wahid Omar. Welcome, Tan Sri.
Thank you, Yusry.
Thank you for giving us your time to spend with us today. We will have about 45 minutes with Tan Sri. I will not delay as long as I will not delay further. But before I hand over to Tan Sri, those who wants to actually ask questions, you can do so in the Q&A column. Questions can be both in English as well as in Bahasa Malaysia. So Tan Sri, I'm handing over the session to you. You can actually start sharing your insights on the situation. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Yusry. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning. Let me begin by thanking Encik Yusry and the team at IBFIM. Alhamdulillah, I was born in JB as the 9th child into a family of 11 siblings. It was an underprivileged family, if you like, but we were fortunate to have the new economic policy aimed at eradicating poverty by giving the poor good education. And we were also fortunate to have hardworking parents and generous uncles and aunties who helped us financially during those tough times back in 1960s and 1970s. Now, my father worked very hard and he had to commute to Singapore to work. But unfortunately, he was retrenched in 1969 and had to work as a laborer at a pencil factory in JB, earning a meager 150 ringgit a month. My mother would help out as a part-time seamstress to make baju Melayu and all. And seeing how my parents strived to raise the 11 children, so that strengthened my resolve to excel in my studies and secure a better future. So Alhamdulillah, I managed to get into Madrasah Seremban, and I was basically an anak mara from the age of 13 until I was given scholarship to go to the UK to pursue professional accounting qualification, ECCA, and got back in 1987. And I'm truly grateful to my parents, to Mara, and to the Malaysian government for giving me and my siblings the opportunity to take the family out of poverty and to excel in our respective career. So you asking about the nasihat and the pesan of the parents. There were obviously many over the years, but maybe the top 3 would be for us to be honest and truthful, to work hard and to do our best in everything that we do. And thirdly, to respect other people, especially the elders. And this is something which is very much relevant until today. And I must say that I'm fortunate to have my parents with me. My father is 94, Haji Omar, and my mother, Haji Halimah, is 84. And I do hope that all of you will get the opportunity to look after your parents too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's certainly a very interesting personal and professional journey, Tan Sri. So, Tan Sri, being a professional, you have actually gone through at least 2 major crises in 1998 and 2008, and you are going through again this crisis, this COVID-19 crisis. Based on your past experience and managing all these big institutions going through crises, what are the skill sets that needed for professionals in actually going through this crisis? What would be your advice to them?
Well, thanks, Yusry. Now, I must say that I've been fortunate to experience three major crises in the past. The first was the Asian financial crisis, 97-98. Secondly, the global financial crisis, 2008. And then the financial markets turbulence in 2015, in August in particular. Now, this global COVID-19 pandemic, I must say, is unprecedented. And is far more damaging as it affects lives and livelihood at all levels, be it at the personal, corporate, governmental, as well as societal level too. So, for example, we saw how the unemployment figures in March shot up from 3.3% in February to 3.9% in March. And this is only after 2 weeks of the MCO, the Movement Control Order. So imagine as we move forward in April and May, things will certainly get worse. So do expect the impact on the economy, on the business and employment to be severe this time around. Now, having said that, like any crisis, it is important for all of us to do our best to manage this situation. So among others, I would encourage maybe 6 things. I think number one, as a professional, you need to be clear on the current state of your organization, your financial position, your business performance, your manpower situation, your financial obligations, and your cash flow requirements. Secondly, you need to synthesize the impact of the crisis onto your business. Do analyze the different scenarios. Whenever you go through a crisis, whilst we all hope for the best, we must always be prepared for the worst. So look at various possible scenarios and prepare yourselves. The third is the need to activate your business continuity and disaster recovery plan effectively. Number 4 is about the need to optimize your cost so that you are able to survive longer, because we don't know how long this is going to last. Number 5 is about having empathy towards your employees, your customers, and the community, and help people where you can. Because at the end of the day, when you help other people, you're also helping yourself too, because we're all part of the same community and the same economy, if like. And the last one is about the need to adapt and to innovate your business to remain relevant in this new normal post-COVID-19 period, if like. So there's a need to think outside the box, use technology where you can, if like, to survive. Thank you.
Good practical advice, Tan Sri, for all of us. Tan Sri, 12 days ago you appointed as chairman of Bursa. What would you do as chairman? Would you pursue some of the ideas that you actually articulated before in terms of having more listing on Bursa Malaysia, those kind of things? What would you do, Tan Sri, as chairman of Bursa Malaysia?
Well, thank you, Yusry. I think it's still early days. It's only been 2 weeks physically into Bursa. But I must say that I'm fortunate to have had the benefit of leading many organizations before. And these organizations deal closely with Bursa, whether as a public listed company when I was at UEM, Plus Expressways, Telecom Malaysia and Maybank, as a participating organization on the sell side when I was at Maybank, and also as a fund manager on the buy side when I was at PNB. Now, these varied roles have given me different perspectives on Bursa and the market, and I hope they will help me in discharging my duties here at Bursa Malaysia as chairman. Now, in assuming any new position, my approach has always been to go into the organization with an open mind, no preconceived ideas, if you like. Now, I am mindful that Bursa Malaysia is not your typical organization or public listed company. It is an exchange holding company providing the necessary trading, settlement, depository infrastructure, as well as a frontline regulator. And I had the benefit of going through 3 days of the board induction program last week. and meeting up with the management and understanding what Bursa is all about, our current position, and what the plans are by management. I certainly look forward to working closely with other board members and to guide the management team led by Dato' Umar Swift in driving the way forward for Bursa Malaysia. Now, I must say that at the end of the day, we are focused about fulfilling Bursa's vision as ASEAN's leading responsible and globally connected marketplace, if you like. Now, specific on the Islamic capital market that you asked, Yusry, now I'm happy to note that as you speak, some 77% of the listed stocks are already Sharia compliant. However, in terms of market capitalization, they make up only 67% of the total market cap of 1.4 trillion ringgit. Now, one of the reasons why the market cap percentage is actually lower is because there are many large financial stocks which are not Sharia compliant. So the combined market cap of the four entities, BNB Holdings, Syarikat Takaful Malaysia, MBSB Bank, and Bursa Malaysia itself will only be about 20 billion ringgit. So I think that's less than 5% of the total market cap of Sharia, of the total finance stocks, if you like, in the market. So I still believe that there's need to promote more Sharia compliant equity instruments in the market. And I do hope that we'll see listing of more Islamic financial institutions like Bank Muamalat and others, and as well as some creative things like the possible designation of some of the shares of banks that embrace the Islamic first strategy, if you like. So maybe that's something that we hope that can be done in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tan Sri. We have some questions coming in, Tan Sri. And how the question works is that people can actually vote this question, the one that they want to be answered first. And the one that's actually receiving a top vote is this question, Tan Sri. Salam Tan Sri is actually for Mio Ibrahim. Salam Tan Sri, now that you are the chairman of Bursa, what would be your most immediate strategy towards regaining Bursa's glory?
Well, as mentioned earlier, so these are early days. So I just had my session with the management team, and I think together the board will be guiding management in terms of some of the areas to be looked at. So naturally, as an exchange holding company, we provide the infrastructure for trading, clearing, settlement, and depository for the market. And the idea is actually to have as many quality public listed companies listed and to have as many investors as possible providing that liquid market. So one of the things which we spoke about, apart from making sure that our system is able to meet with all the needs of a fully functioning stock exchange, is also to look at the quality of the public listed companies that we have. So naturally, some may argue that the performance of the companies can be better over time. Now we have to prepare these companies to ride through this current crisis. Many of these public listed companies, they will need more capital. So it is our role to make sure that they will have access to equity capital possible through private placements and other measures. So we hope to be working with the other stakeholders, perhaps in the setting up of a fund from the market to make sure that these PLCs, especially the small and the mid-cap companies, have access to capital so that they can ride through this difficult period, and so that by the time things recover, they will have the manufacturing capacity or the business capacity to grow their business post COVID-19.
Thank you, Tan Sri. Another question, Tan Sri. Okay, this is with regards to distribution channel. It's from one Hanewan Muhammad. The question asks, how will you enhance or improve the distribution channels for the equity market?
Well, in any business, I would always go for a multi-pronged approach. So whether it's actually in telecommunications or banking and so on. So I think likewise, in the case of an exchange holding company, I think it's important for us to look at all the channels that we have and see how we can improve the existing channels whilst at the same time looking at the new sets of channels. So I think obviously currently our main channels are through the various participating organizations who will have either their paid dealers or remisiers. So I think that can continue and we have to make it better. But obviously this crisis, the movement control order, has resulted in more business being conducted online. So I think we obviously need to see how that can be improved even further moving forward. So obviously this is something which the management has been thinking about, and we at the board will be providing further guidance on how we can actually go about it. So of course, there have also been discussions about having better international linkages and so on. So I think that's something which we have to explore further, because as much as we are interested to improve the accessibility, we're also mindful of the impact to the current players and so on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tasri. Another question, Tasri, from one Hanif, one Muhammad again. The question asks, what is your plan to help individual investors to open CDS account and invest in shares, even for Malaysian residing overseas? Interesting.
Yeah. I think what we're working now is that as a depository entity, the account opening they're all undertaken by our depository manager and so on. So I think what we are currently working on is to have that online capability to facilitate people opening an account as well as to manage their accounts better. So the idea would be for all the companies and individuals to have real-time access to the share depository that we have. And I think this is something that will be explained. I guess the idea would be whether it can be done from abroad. I think the idea is that if we can solve this issue of KYC, and I think that's something which obviously can be done. So we need to make sure that we comply with all the securities law, not just here in Malaysia, but also in the countries where the account holders would be.
Okay. Okay. This will be maybe the last two questions. The one is actually from Lynette. She's asking, in view of the current situation, what strategy should the Malaysian public apply when investing in Bursa stock? Any idea on even investing in
Sorry, I can't hear the question clearly. Yusry.
Yeah, I'll repeat it again, Yusry. The question is, in view of the current situation, what strategies should the Malaysian public apply when investing in Bursa stocks? What about derivatives as well?
So I think obviously if you look at the market now, so many stocks have been traded significantly lower in recent times, right? And I think based on the last analysis, so I think up to 70% of the stocks are trading below their net book value. So obviously one can argue whether under current circumstances the book value is true book value or otherwise. I guess that's something which you have to undertake your analysis. But I believe that in most companies, they are truly trading at below market value. And many of these companies are still profitable, although we can expect the profitability will be less. But even if they lose money, so perhaps for some of them, they're expected to recover in 2021 and so on. So I guess it is up to the investors to do the analysis, work done by the various research houses and the brokers. So my suggestion would be to really look at all these, I suppose, documents and advice before you make the investment. But clearly, I think there's a lot of value in the market compared to where we were a couple of months ago, for example. So I think on derivatives, I always believe in using derivatives for your respective purpose. For example, whether you are using it for hedging or otherwise. Of course, we have the proprietary traders that provide liquidity for the market, if you like. But I guess, again, it's very important for all of us as investors to look at our risk appetite before we embark on any investing of any particular instrument, if you like. Thank you.
Thank you, Yusry. Okay,
I hope that helps.
one last question, I think quite interesting question. This is from Jal Osman. Okay, Jal Osman, on a lighter note, you have been away for a bit. Now that you are back, what is the single biggest thing that you will miss? You will be missing most when you were away.
I'm not sure whether I was away per se. So obviously, I was away from the financial services sector from July 2018. So that's just under 2 years ago. But I've been operating in other fields, in particular in the education field, as well as in sustainability. But throughout, I've always been maintaining with close touch with the other peers, friends who remain in the industry. So as I re-enter the financial services sector, what are the things which I miss? Well, obviously, financial services industry is very intense, it's very capital intensive, and is very human capital intensive too, if you like. So it requires a lot of time and effort and energy. So not being in the financial services sector enabled a lot more time for you to do other things. So for me, I've been spending some time at WWF Malaysia as part of my effort to contribute towards sustainability. I've had the benefit of spending some time at the Oxford Centre for Islamic Studies, which I'm continuing for the last term currently, and spending more time with the academia. So I think that's quite fulfilling. So being able to undertake many speaking engagements at universities. So that's something which I'll miss. Of course, I also miss the family time that I had plenty of over the past 2 years. And it is my intention to reserve some family time as well as we move forward, if you like. So leading a more balanced life.
Okay, Sri, we are almost out of time. Any final thoughts, Sri, before we end the session? Any final thoughts?
Well, thank you, Yusry. If I may, perhaps just my final thoughts on leadership. I think it's important for all of us to realize that sustainable leaders are those who truly believe in the purpose and who believe in doing good. And I think, inshallah, if you do that, you will gain barakah in your life and be very, very fulfilling. Secondly, it is very important for us to focus on the fundamentals and focus on substance rather than form. If you're running a public listed companies, don't worry too much about the daily fluctuation of your share price. Just focus on growing your market, improving your sales, optimizing your costs, improving your earnings, and paying more dividends. And I think, inshallah, if you do that, your share price will improve automatically in the medium to long term. Number 3 is the need for all of us to work hard and work smart and to go for excellence. And if you're a public listed company in particular, adopt the best practices in corporate governance. Number 4 is about the need to focus on your task at hand, to do it well. And I think, inshallah, your reputation will precede you. Some people, they plan too much about where they want to go, where they want to work in the future. And if you do that, chances are you will miss what you need to deliver currently. So I think it's important to focus on your current task at hand. Number 5 is about the need to continue to learn. And we all learn new things every day. And we are fortunate that we have technology at our disposal today. There's a wealth of information out there at our fingertips, so use it to your advantage. Number 6 is about the need to keep innovating, think outside the box, think blue ocean in coming up with new solutions, if you like. So not just technology solutions, but also any other processes and so on. Number 7 is about the need to embrace the 3 key attributes of being a good and effective leader. That's integrity, competence, and humility. So embrace this whenever you hire new managers, if you like, or when you pick new leaders. I think, inshallah, you can't go wrong if you do this. And the last is something which many of us tend to forget from time to time, and that's to be grateful to God Almighty, to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, for all His blessings, and to be thankful to the people who have helped us too in our journey. And for me personally, I'm truly grateful and thankful to my parents for all the things they've done to raise us over the past 56 years. And also grateful to my partner, my friends, and so on. And last, if I may, and if not least, I think like any other country, Malaysia will continue to face challenges. And for us currently, not just about the global pandemic, but also political challenges. So I think, having said that, I would always take leave out of the some other countries where they may have political upheaval from time to time, but the country will continue to progress. So likewise here for Malaysia, notwithstanding whatever challenges that we have, if all of us were to focus on our task and to do it well, to be constructive in our approach, and I think, inshallah, the country as a whole will continue to progress, notwithstanding the challenges. And I noticed that sometimes we Malaysians, we tend to look at things that divide us rather than things that unite us. We like to look at the glass as being half empty, as opposed to be being half full. And for us, I think it's important for us to go back to the basic constitution of the country and to embrace the spirit of Rukun Negara. Not just the 5 principles of Rukun Negara that we have on the left, but also the 5 objectives for the Malaysian society that we want from Malaysia. A united community, united country that will sustain not just in the immediate future, but for many, many years to come. So I think that's something that we believe in, and I hope all of us will do our respective part, be constructive, and embrace the spirit of Rukun Negara. So with that, I thank you, Encik Yusry, and others for listening in to this conversation. I hope it's not too early to wish all of you Selamat Hari Raya Idul Fitri. and maaf zahir and batin, and have a blessed remaining part of Ramadan, inshallah. So all the best.
Okay.
Thank you.
Tasri, thank you on behalf of the guests, and IBFIM, thank you very much for giving us the time. It's been a real pleasure, Tasri. Thank you. All the best, Tasri, and all the best at your role in Bursa Malaysia. Selamat Raya. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.